What was that?
Perfect. You want to be that guy?
Wow. What's up, everybody? Welcome to DCTV. My name is Brad. Jaime is over there. Champ was here, but in her drunken stupor, I guess
she's recovering. Give her a break, bro.
Yeah, she'll be back. Jaime, what's up, man? Good morning, brother.
Outstanding. It's beautiful. The airport had shut down here in Guatemala because there's a volcanic ash that's flying over. So no, it's a boring country.
Okay.
Not much happens around here.
Yeah, right. That's amazing. That's amazing. So guys, welcome to DCTV. It is Wednesday, December 14th, 2022, and we have a ton of stuff to go over. Obviously, the SBF saga continues as he has officially been arrested. You guys caught the stream that I went live with on Tuesday and put up about a half a dozen shorts about all the things that are going on. But then more happened yesterday as he was denied bail. And then also the hearing that took place between John Ray III and Congress. And we're going to talk about some of the highlights there as well, among CPI numbers and how Bitcoin's been reacting to that as well. So make sure you're sticking around for all of that as we continue to move on. But Jaime, let's take a look at the markets in general. Right now, I'm just seeing everything's kind of mixed. We got red and green on the screen. The S&P is flat, but slightly red. The Dow's just turned green. NASDAQ also just barely red. Everything's generally flat. We got crude oil that's sitting at $76 a barrel, and then Bitcoin is sitting at 17,891 and is up around 2 points there. So Bitcoin had a huge day yesterday off of the CPI numbers that were released.
I can speak to that. I don't have the ability to share, so I don't know if you see my shared screen. If you bring that up,
there you go.
I can quickly. So here's what we're looking at. Right here, we're looking at the 3-day. I use this quite a bit. If you notice, the price history follows it quite well. The 200 3-day moving average and the 50 3-day moving average, and we are currently rallying up to it. That range, and this is what I'm watching at this moment, is where Bitcoin were to break through the range is anywhere between 19,000 and 19,300. If Bitcoin breaks through this ceiling and tests it as support, we should see the bottom would be in. It would be safe to say that we are at least done with the drop of Bitcoin. But now if we move over to the weekly, let me share this tab instead. This is the weekly I've also been watching. And if you notice, there's a floor or ceiling at this range where I have an alarm at 19,100 range area. So you're seeing both time frames on the 3-day and on the weekly. The ceiling is anywhere between 19,000 and 19,300. That is a strong resistance, because if we look at it from a monthly level, you're going to notice that there's quite a bit going on at that level. And that's why I'm watching it extremely closely, is because when Bitcoin dropped from the bull run we had, it dropped down to this level where it sat for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months. That's a pretty concrete ceiling. So here's where the big question lies. As you see Bitcoin rallying at this moment, will it break this and test its support? Then at that point, I'll be confident enough to say, okay, we now see the reversal, and this big red candle we see over here would have been that capitulation event. So we have to watch it. We'll see how it closes on the weekly. So by Sunday, we should know, are we going to test it or break through it? So that's where we're at with Bitcoin itself. So it's pretty exciting to see, and we'll keep watching here and keep you informed as we move forward.
Yeah, how are you feeling about this? Has your confidence shifted to the upside, or are you still on the skeptical side?
because of the 5 months, that's a long ass time.
Yeah.
Like, to be frank with you. So
Right.
my gut in experience in terms of the charts and Bitcoin, she is a difficult soul, or she will do as she pleases.
Yeah.
What to So in this case, my gut tells me we're going to hit it as resistance, and then we will go towards the capitulation. And if we look at the macro events, we still don't have clarity, regulatory clarity. There's quite a few things that need to be resolved, and there's quite a few shit coins out there. So I think this is the .com or the .bomb for crypto going on now.
Yeah.
We should see the utter death of all the BS projects and the survival and growth of the true project. The people who are really building, like Google, Amazon, all these that survived, because they took a beating themselves also. But I have not lost faith and will not lose faith just because of what we're seeing in the heavy investments by organizations like BlackRock, Fidelity, like the big money, the smart money, are still heavily investing into this industry, specifically into Bitcoin also. And the fact that you're here now during all these trials of, oh, Bitcoin is a commodity. So it's almost giving a green light to, hey, we will not look or frown upon Bitcoin in itself, more on the anything not Bitcoin. And I think that's where the bloodbath is going to occur once we get regulatory clarity from this. But yes, I still feel we're not going to break it. I think we're going to tap it and then do, I don't know how long it'll be, but it could be a month or 2 months. Maybe by spring, we should start seeing now Bitcoin clawing its way back up north to follow the median.
I'll agree with that too. I think Don would say that a lot of people think Bitcoin is on an up only movement, and I think he would say he doesn't believe that. He definitely thinks we're going to go another leg lower, and that's fair. But we're real close, I think, to the bottom. I think we're very close. I think we're under 100 days for sure. And there's other like long-term historical. I'm talking Bitcoin here. There's other historical charts that you can look at that show that we are absolutely on schedule for a 500 plus day uptrend. We're we are very close. There's like a lot of different charts and whatnot, and I should have had one pulled up for you guys that kind of show. I have one for you, Tam. Well, no, just like a chart that kind of shows like the Wall Street psychology of money, where let's see, like kind of have half one. It's like, oh, like there's hope, and then there's what is it? Optimism, belief, thrill. You know, like euphoria at the very top, and then once a chart starts going down, it's complacency. It goes through all these things like anxiety, denial, panic. This is in the bear market, and at the very, very bottom of the bear market is anger, and then depression, and that's a sideways movement before we start moving up again back into disbelief and hope. Correct. And I think we're very firmly stuck between that anger and depression sideways movement, but I think we're very, very close to a 500 plus day uptrend when it comes to Bitcoin. And Bitcoin's dominance right now is absolutely murdering alts. So all the more reason for some great buying opportunities right now. And there's like a lot of people, I think, that they use fractals when it comes to Bitcoin, and traders, I know, like they're usually not big fans of fractals when it comes to technical analysis, but the schedule that I'm talking about is literally the core economic theory behind Bitcoin. So that's why I'm being very clear when I say it's like, this is exactly why Bitcoin is here. It's how it moves, it's how it walks. And so I don't think that you can take fractals like completely out right now. Again, until it trades more like a quote unquote traditional, a traditional asset or stock. I think you got to keep that in. And some of those charts that I'm looking at, we're really, really close to the bottom. I mean, we might take another leg down, but it's not going to be long, I don't think. I think we're going to tap it, and then we're going to get off to the races here pretty quick.
So let me ask you this. If if there is going to be this capitulatory moment, do we have any kind of, and this is pure speculation, just give me some wild guesses as to what you think could create that? Is it just general overall fear? Because usually there's a catalyst, right?
Right.
Before you answer, my thoughts are we're starting to see, obviously the Sam Bankman-Fried issues and FTX. That was one sort of domino to drop. The other one I think could be this investigation on Binance. And I'm wondering, and we're starting to see, actually yesterday we saw a huge outflow of
2 billion.
Yes, of cash from Binance. And I'm wondering if that could certainly be the spark that ignites some sort of capitulatory moment in Bitcoin and crypto in general.
Yeah, I think you're right to bring it up, but I think okay, what happened with SBF and was a very big deal. It was a really big deal.
Right.
If Binance falls, though, it will be apocalyptic in this space. FTX, that is nothing compared to if Binance fell. And Binance has been around longer. They've been around 2 years longer, which doesn't sound like a whole long time, but in this crypto space, 2 years might as well be a dozen. CZ does not offer the same, or does not offer the same types of crazy trading and margin and leverage and strategies that FTX did. And that's part of the reason that they fell, is because FTX was doing all kind of weird stuff and not being responsible with it. But if Binance, if people do pull a little more money because they're scared, that's fine. But Binance is not going to fall. Binance is not going to fall. It can't.
Yeah, and I can give you reasons why.
So I wasn't saying that Binance was going to fall.
Right.
I was just saying that because of some of the investigations that are happening, that it could spook people, right?
Which is why I think that if we do dip, it will be quick, because I think people are going to very quickly realize, oh, I was understandably scared of Binance and any centralized exchange, but I don't need to be. And they'll go right back into it. Right. So that's why I think it's going to be a very quick dip. Like, I was a little scared, but I'm good now. Yeah. Let's go.
Yes.
So there's a lot of difference there. And I said Binance is not going to fall. I don't think they will. Could they technically? Sure. Of course they could implode, but I don't think they will. I mean, if Binance collapses, Coinbase collapses, Grayscale collapses, and all of DeFi collapses. I mean, if that happens. Problems. Yeah.
Yes.
So
70% of transactions that take place in the entire industry of crypto take place on Binance. So it would have to be something massive.
It really big. And again, everything that I said leading up to this, I'm really talking about Bitcoin and Bitcoin alone. But Bitcoin is the tide that floats all of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin itself. So obviously Bitcoin's going to do what it's going to do, but I actually think we're really close to starting a really, really long uptrend. I don't think we're going to see massive runs like we did
I don't either.
Yeah. I mean, we're not going to go completely apocalyptic really, really quickly. But you're going to see a steady climb for a long time. And I think we're really close to starting that uphill.
Yeah,
absolutely. And Brandon, you just said a term that was coined by Binance.
Yeah.
Safu. And that's why I don't see Binance. So 2 things that Binance did very different to FTX. One is that they did not use customer client assets to loan or do what's illegal, like what Sam Bankman-Fried did. And there's been runs on crypto going out of Binance. It usually is around remove all your assets from from exchanges is a January event usually.
Yeah,
it was
proof
just
of keys
forward.
Is January. Yeah.
Exactly,
it's a crypto holiday. Yeah,
right. So that's what it came early for CZ and the team. But they know not to, because that's one of the advice. The first advice that CZ released the moment FTX started imploding, because they realized they made loans on the asset itself and using client assets on their own token, meaning. So Binance does not do that. So what's in their stores right now leaves. If you sign in now and request it leaves, it leaves. and there's quite a few if you follow Twitter or any speaker who's tried it, they are able to pull their assets out. So there is liquidity. So I don't see it imploding just because they've done business correctly. And CZ, I don't know if you've noticed, he's been traveling all over the world, opening up countries that have regulatory, they're friendly to crypto, including Paris, France. He's been there and has an office running out of there. Latin America is receiving him.
That's where Ledger's at.
Yes. And that's where you see that, okay, let's say there is a run. The run is really going to come from Binance US, because that's the one that the government here has authority over. So they may lock it down or knock it out here in the States, but on a global scale, CZ's been leaving jurisdictions that are not crypto friendly. Like he'll arrive, and if they're like, no, I'm done, or there's something off, he keeps looking. So now he has quite a few jurisdictions that are support the crypto vision, including El Salvador next door to where I'm at now. So there is, I don't think it'll be that. I think it'll be shutting down Binance US or knocking that out from the regulatory aspect. And then the US, treasuries or CFTC or SEC, whoever it is that will put a very strong posture of all Americans do not put your Bitcoin or anything. You cannot use this exchange and do and fine them for everything they got, because that's the power the government has. That could trigger something, but hopefully it's nothing too big. But on the chart, as you see here, I'm with Tam. We should be on the uptrend from this zone we're in today. The big question is there a capitulation before, or are we just trailing right through that median gray line to the next bull run top?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll obviously continue to keep track of this. As you guys know, every single day we cover what's going on in the overall market, as well as Bitcoin and what we're seeing every day. So because we see it every day doesn't necessarily mean that we are watching every tick to make a decision, but it's just interesting to see how the fluctuations based on whatever's going on in the world has influenced the price of Bitcoin or the general market. So we certainly appreciate you guys hanging with us. We're going to be getting into the SBF drama. There's so much to talk about and unpack here, and we're gonna try to squeeze it into an hour-long show, but we'll see how successful we are with that. So make sure you're sticking around as SBF has been denied bail. We'll go into exactly what the charges were, as well as all kinds of other stuff surrounding around this story. There's just so much to talk about, guys. So make sure you're sticking around, but also make sure you're checking out the link in the description. If we are not talking about whatever it is that you want to chat about, you can chat about it in our Discord. It's absolutely free to join, become part of our community, and just help us build and grow as more people adopt cryptocurrency and more people adopt Bitcoin as well. We'd love to have you guys in there. If you want to learn more about it, if you want to just chat about what's been going on in the overall market itself, that's your place. That's where you want to be. So make sure you're doing that. Also, hit the subscribe button. If you're just joining us for the first time, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. And let's go ahead and get into our WTF news of the day. So, guys, this is the time of the year where everybody comes up with like top 10, whatever, right? Like, oh, this is the top 10 of the year, blah, 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 blah. There is a category for the Guinness Book of World Records, and there's some real winners out here. Check this guy out. This guy, there's the top 10,
nice, dude.
Top 10 Guinness Book of World Records. And this guy has 10 Coke cans on his head. That is the 10. He was able to. So this is Jamie Keaton, aka Canhead or Campa to his grandchildren, used air suction to affix 10 empty broken beverage cans to his face and shaved head, earning the record when the cans remained in place for at least 5 seconds. And he says, I actually have a skin condition that's not named yet, where my skin pores literally suck in oxygen.
Damn.
Isn't that
That was
cheating?
greasy.
Is that cheating?
I mean, if you're if you're born with it, maybe not.
Playing within the rules of the game, my friend.
But
God.
that is true about it. Must suck oxygen way above the normal because we do breathe through our skin, and they discovered that with these artists that would paint their body gold or these metallic colors, their full body,
Yeah.
they would pass out because that's how they discovered shit. Your body does need to breathe in a slight way, but to the point of sucking a can against your face, god damn. I didn't know that was possible.
Also, how cool, like you go to parties. Yeah, I can stick cans to my face. They're like,
Yeah, well,
cool, dude.
To the
So
point,
anyway.
to the point where your kids are calling you Campa. I mean, that's pretty hilarious. There's several other records that were set this year. Most eggs balanced on the back of the hand. 18
eggs?
on the back of his hand. So yeah,
How big are this dude's hands?
I don't know. I don't have a picture.
Is that Lord Fenrir?
Yeah, right.
On the back of your hand?
Yeah, 12.5 eggs bounced on the back of your hand.
I gotta see that picture.
I
It
know.
sounds like Chinese monk stuff, like Shaolin monks doing it.
Another one here was fastest time to find and alphabetize the letters in a can of alphabet soup. These are the craziest fucking things. It was two.
That sounds like a good drinking game, though.
Yeah,
it does.
And
Honestly.
if you notice, they're all COVID type recorks. You've been locked in too long.
That was 2 minutes and 8.6 seconds.
Damn.
Then there's one furthest tightrope walk in high heels, 639 feet,
Damn.
7 inches in high heels, tightrope. That is insane.
What?
Fastest time to eat 10 Carolina Reaper chilies.
No,
Ooh, that's good.
say it ain't so.
Wait,
30
before you go any further, the high-heeled ones, did a guy or a girl win that?
That's a great question. It was a woman, Ariana Wonderly.
It just sounds like your birthday people.
It does. It does. I mean, her name is Ariana Wonderly, and she walks in heels. Yeah, there's got to be something there. She's at least a stripper.
Yeah, areola. Sorry, what?
So yeah, 10 Carolina
Areola.
Reaper chilies. Fastest time to eat 10 Carolina Reaper chilies, 33.15 seconds.
Whew.
Damn. Yeah, but
And then
the
his,
second later is when he threw
Yeah,
up.
yeah, man. The way
and then
out's gonna
his
be even
asshole
worse.
was on fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Largest gathering of people with the same first and last name.
How many?
Why?
178.
What?
Garcia? What was
John
the name?
Smith?
This
Yeah,
is-
Smith, that's
no,
what I was thinking.
no, it's Japan. So Hirokazu Tanakas.
Damn.
There's 178 of them apparently.
All right.
They're a fertile tribe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Furthest distance to blow a pea.
Bro,
Wait, what?
bro.
Like a spitball, but a pea.
Yeah. Not
Can
a
I-
penis, just a pea.
Blow a pee though? Like what is that?
Yeah, like a spitball.
Bro.
You put a pea in a straw and you shoot it.
See,
at your
these are
dad.
some weird
Oh,
games
is
that
that-
guys play in the bathrooms with the
I know.
urinals, and I don't know what you're talking about.
Wait,
You know, like-
In the lunchroom, every school, I guarantee, some kid had a
Oh.
straw and stuck a pea in it and shot it at his buddy.
I thought you meant,
Guaranteed.
like,
I thought
urine.
peeing.
No,
yeah,
no,
I was
a
like,
pea,
what?
like the vegetable. Hold on.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
bro, I was
green
about to
veggie.
tell you what happened as a kiddo.
Yeah.
I know how
I
to
almost
make
opened a
these
can of
stuff.
Somebody's got a
Wait a
war
minute.
story.
We have to watch it. We have to watch it now. Here it is.
Hey there, folks. It's David Rush here with
No straw.
Yeah, it was like with the
24.
Let's,
Come on!
They're all COVID games, bro. They're all
That's
COVID games.
quotable.
What?
I'm sampling that, him breathing heavy and saying, "Come on." That's hilarious.
yes,
Bro,
Please do.
can I just briefly tell you how to pee far?
Wait, hold on. Wait.
Make
Because
a
this is
pee-pee.
like curling,
Yeah.
but even dumber.
Yeah.
This, what did we just watch? And now Jaime's gonna teach us how to blow urine or something.
Oh my god!
What
this
kind of
is,
show did we just turn into? It's not even Friday.
Yeah,
yet.
it is. What the fuck? Okay.
this is not how I expected our day to go so far, but this is
Mhm.
hilarious. So we got a couple other ones. Longest journey by a pumpkin boat. I don't know what a pumpkin boat is, but
I'm done asking questions.
37 and a half miles. Fastest time to assemble Mr. Potato Head. 5.43 seconds.
He's
That's
doing
pretty-
eyes, feet, lips. What else? What else you got to do?
Arms, nose.
Oh,
And mustache.
Yeah, nose,
Mustache. Yeah.
Right,
that's
right,
pretty
right.
good. I bet you there's a strategy. Is it top down, bottom up? There's got to be some sort of strategy to that.
You know, the cool thing used to be, how fast can you reassemble your gun? But now it's a Mr. Potato Head.
Oh yeah, still
Yeah,
a
that's
cool
how
thing.
you win wars too.
And then finally, the longest beard chain.
Oh, that's Lord Fenrir. There you go. He's in.
That's right. Competitors in the 2022 National Beard and Mustache Championships in Casper, Wyoming, teamed up to have their beards clipped together into a chain that measured a record-breaking 150-foot chain of facial hair.
Gross.
The chain, the chain beat a record of 62 feet 6 inches, which was set in Germany in 2007.
Okay.
That's the
ladies
first
and
non-COVID one
Yeah.
right,
because it involves people.
That's
That-
not because we can.
yeah,
Can't stop me.
that, ladies and gentlemen, is your WTF news of the day.
Wow.
The hell.
Listen, I've had some winners, and I've had some kind of ones that were okay. Today, it takes the cake.
The pee
I
thing got
actually-
me. I mean, I really
The
thought we
pee-
were talking about urine. I was like, how do you blow pee?
I know
Like
now-
this. Good big swig of it.
Yeah, I didn't understand. I'm like, is one person pee and another one just like blow the stream? I don't get it. Like,
Jesus Christ. Now we're getting into golden showers and shit.
Bro.
I actually have a Guinness Book of World
man.
Records goal at some point. I wanted to do this for a while, but I'm gonna connect like hundreds of thousands of lemons together in order to create voltage, and I'm gonna
Oh.
see how many. I'm gonna see how many. How much
much
Bitcoin I can mine on lemon power.
Lemons.
It's stupid, but I'm gonna do it. I've wanted to for like since like 2017. So
Do it, bro.
some
I'll be there
point-
for that.
Then you'll be
We'll-
then you'll be
we'll-
on my show.
Yeah. We got to go
You'll
to
be-
Florida to do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it in Florida where there's
Yes.
plenty of lemons.
Or oranges. You probably could do oranges too. All right, guys. So that is your WTF news of the day. But we have this whole show is WTF. So if you guys haven't been keeping track, Sam Bankman-Fried got arrested on Monday, by the Bahamian government by the request of the SDNY, and there have been charges filed by the SDNY as well as the SEC, and so this is obviously something that we've been following. The charges range from anywhere from wire fraud to a conspiracy, money laundering, and violating campaign finance regulations. He was at his bail hearing last night and was denied bail as he is now a flight risk. And Sam Bankman-Fried has stated that he is actually planning on fighting extradition, as he probably should. But that is the update as far as Sam Bankman-Fried is concerned. But we also will be talking about the hearing and some of the highlights from the hearing yesterday, because John Ray III was at least present, even though Sam Bankman-Fried was. And that's kind of where I wanted to go next. Guys,
So say who he is, by the way,
Yeah.
Brad.
John Ray III?
Yeah, for
Find your
anyone
terms,
who's not
please.
familiar with.
Oh, yeah, sure. So John Ray III is the current CEO of FTX. He was appointed there once they filed Chapter 11 because he's traditionally one of those guys that comes in and kind of cleans things up and kind of figures out what the fuck happens when there is certain cases like this. He actually oversaw the Enron case as well. And so he was testifying in front of Congress, kind of letting everybody know what the hell was going on in front of everybody's faces as far as FTX was concerned. So we're going to talk about those highlights in just a second. But I want your initial reactions, because I was the only one that went live on Monday, and everybody had things going on, which is fine. I was the only one that had no life and was able to do it.
No, I was right there, bro. Like you
I
went
know.
off, right? I was like, "Ah, come on."
I was live for 35 minutes.
Yeah, it only took me a second.
When
Like you
you're
said, I was
desirable,
busy.
you're desirable.
Yeah.
What can I say?
Well,
running
It's,
around my shop trying to get stuff done. And I was like, I got 30 minutes. I gotta go.
He's over here
fault.
blowing peas. So
Right.
Yeah, I was blowing pee with the guys in the back. They let me in. Anyways, demonetized.
Jesus Christ. So anyways, my initial reaction, my immediate reaction was like, God damn it. Like, what the fuck? Because of the timing of it all. Hours before
Yes.
he's supposed to testify in front of Congress, this happens. This isn't coincidence, in my opinion.
Right.
And
Peter
this isn't-
Schiff.
This isn't Friday. So, but we're talking conspiracies anyway. I was so fucking mad because I was like, this guy was going to testify in front of Congress, and we know exactly why this happened at the time that it did. And there's no way of convincing me that this wasn't because somebody didn't want him saying whatever they thought he was going to say.
Absolutely.
Or knew
this,
he was going to say.
Right. And this shuts him up.
It's not even about what he would say. It's about what he would have to say because he's under oath.
Under oath, right.
And if they went through and dug a little bit, they'd find him to be breaking oath, and that's an even bigger problem. So
yeah, oaths don't mean anything to him, to be honest. I mean, if he could do what he did, oath means nothing. It's the fact that he knows.
True.
And he can actually point while he's sitting in Congress, you, I paid you. These are the promise, whatever. And even Peter Schiff, the gold bug, was saying, dude, this, and you'll see it, even Twitter, everyone's saying, like, this is highly suspect on the timing. Like, it was perfect on to keep him away from speaking to Congress about the rot within Congress and within the political system.
Right.
Because, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, he paid off a lot of U.S. politicians. Why in the world would we not think that he didn't pay off people in the Bahamas as well? Law enforcement in the Bahamas or whoever else. Like, we don't know that, but I mean, I don't think it's too far of a stretch to think that. And his jail is probably not very rough. This is not a Russian detention, where it's real. This is highly, highly suspect. I mean, come on.
There was a sealed warrant, so it was initiated by our government to snag him. The timing,
though.
They did it. Yes.
Yeah, you could have done this literally weeks ago.
Yes.
Why, right when he opened his mouth for the first time on, on all the Twitter spaces and everything else. Why wait till right before this? It just doesn't make any sense. I wonder if he's isolated in that prison. Is he with other prisoners? I think it could be a bad day for him if he's just in general pop. I really do.
Does he have a Casper bed and a bag of Cheetos and a gaming PC with League of Legends so he can take meetings,
Yeah. I think he wanted to pay his bail with FTT tokens, and that's why they denied it, to be honest.
It's pronounced FTT tokens,
I thought, though, that they, since they did arrest him, they might force him to testify in front of Congress via video conference. And I'm kind of surprised that didn't happen.
Right.
You know what I
He's
mean?
a
Like,
privileged one.
That's the thing. Like, if he was arrested and then forced to testify because he's arrested and you're not getting out of this, then everything looks legit. But the fact that he was arrested with the timing that he was, didn't have to testify because of said arrest, even when we're perfectly capable with electronics today, that is what's just makes the whole thing stink.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a logical explanation as far as that's concerned. I don't know if it was like arraignment or booking or whatever. But I don't disagree with you. I just think that there probably is a way to explain that away. But my thing is just the timing of it all. That's the bottom line as far as I'm concerned personally. It's just like, to what Jaime was saying, you could have done this at any time, at any point.
When he ended, for example.
But hours before he's supposed to go in front of Congress is when you decide to do it. Like, that's just fucking
Shucks.
And then the SEC just piggybacks them. It's like, oh, yeah. We want to get in on that.
Yeah. And we'll save it for Friday,
time.
but it's been proven that there is a direct relationship between Gensler and the team there with SBF. And there's certain oversight that was never enforced.
Caroline Ellison's father and Gary Gensler's are besties.
Yeah. That's the one I really want to see take the lick is Gensler.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah. Like, because hopefully this dude, I don't know of a single citizen that likes this guy. Hopefully he's got just as many enemies.
People were quitting under him.
Like, in politics, in the government, to where they take this and run with it to chase his ass out. That guy is seriously Mr. Burns from The Simpsons.
He is bad news,
Yeah.
you know, and he needs out. I
Excellent.
mean, he's not the only one. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not the only one, but this dude needs gone quick. I mean, really.
Absolutely. And,
I
and
have
there's
some.
been a lot of resignations under his tenure, a ton of it, even before all this debacle.
I have some
Yeah.
live footage. This is Sam Bankman-Fried, currently in prison.
Nice, dude.
Latest photo.
He's blowing peas.
Latest photo. He's practicing with his horse.
Crisis.
Clearing
Self-
his throat.
self-
Clearing his
yeah.
throat.
Yeah, correct.
Shit.
Correct.
I'm a
I've learned to blow
vegan.
peas,
No one
man.
gives a shit in here, boy.
Sure, gotta eat it.
Sure, you got a pretty mouth.
Yeah.
It's only
See,
eating if you swallow, right?
And Bruce, in the comments, he says you reminded him of Bernie Madoff. If you look at the footage on how Bernie was treated when he was going into arrest and everything else versus
Sam Bankman.
SBF, one's white gloved and the other one took it to the chin. So it's
No,
So-
there's legit concern about him killing himself, being Epstein, because
As
of what Jaime
Gwendolyn
said
says.
earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, he's all he has to do is point. Like, this guy, SBF didn't orchestrate this himself. You're telling me him and Caroline Ellison, those two raised $1.8 billion and then manufactured this whole multi-corporation fraud? Get out of here. That is not the two of you. There's so many people behind the scenes. And when SBF's all the drugs and shit that he's on, when all those wear off and he's halfway sober and can remember, he's going to be like, oh man, this is real. I'm in jail. Everybody else is running free in the real estate that I bought them from FTX illegally. I didn't do this. About high time I start pointing the fingers to who really did all this. And again, there's a real concern that he could get hurt,
Epstein.
Yeah, Epstein. Even if he doesn't all the way die, what if he just gets his noggin cracked enough to make him crazy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's
what
not
is that?
reliable anymore.
McAfee type situation. Yeah.
Right.
I actually talked about this on the stream, the impromptu stream when he got arrested on Monday night about hashtag SBF didn't kill himself.
Yeah.
Ended up putting out a tweet on that too.
I saw that. Yeah.
If you guys just give us your thoughts, let us know in the comments what you're thinking about as far as this whole situation is concerned. And I want to kind of move into a little bit of the John Ray testimony yesterday. So if you guys didn't catch that, John Ray III, who is now officially the CEO of FTX, uncovered a lot of things. And I wanted to this is a 3-minute highlight. The Wall Street Journal actually did a really good job of highlighting some of this. I listened to the whole thing because, again, I have no life. And but I was trying to cut up some highlights, but I thought the Wall Street Journal actually did a pretty good job of cutting up exactly what happened here. It's only 3 minutes long. I want us to watch it together because I actually do have some points that I want to make and some questions I want to bring up on the other side of this. So let's take a look here as we're watching this 3-minute highlight reel of yesterday's stream.
Have sufficient risk management systems and controls to appropriately monitor any leverage the business took on and the interconnections it had with businesses like, again, Alameda.
There were virtually no internal controls and no separateness whatsoever.
So what is the big picture balance loss as a result of this bankruptcy? How much has FTX lost as a result of this?
We don't have exact numbers, but we know
Ballpark?
it's several $billion, in excess of $7 billion.
Can you provide some indication of whether customer funds from FTX.com were in fact transferred to Alameda Research?
Well, it's definitely assets of customers in the .com silo were transferred to Alameda, no question about it. We have not seen this at this stage from the U.S. silo. But of course, we do have one concern, and that's the concern we're chasing down, which is whether or not there's commingling between the .com silo and the U.S. silo exchanges. And the reason for that is we know there was sort of common control and access of authorized users at this most senior management level amongst all of the assets. So it's something we have to focus on. We haven't seen evidence right now of that, but certainly that's something we need to investigate and trace.
Are you yet in a position to be able to summarize the assets that Alameda had?
We do have an inventory of the investments we made. That's pretty clear. We've got those in the hands of our investment bankers at Perella, and we're trying to understand those investments. Ultimately, we'll market those investments. You'll see this week that some of those investments will be put up for sale. The crypto assets, a little bit different. What's on the exchanges we can see. There's exchanges, about 24 exchanges across the world where we know we have crypto assets. They're in our name. We're securing those and are moving those into cold storage. We have, other positions in cold wallets and hot wallets. We've got visibility to that. The question really is, are there wallets that we don't know about?
Yep.
Certainly that is the potential, because the way this company was organized, there may be wallets that don't have our names. We don't know where they are. And that's going to be, a difficult task ahead of us. But what we can see and what we have visibility to, we're grabbing control over.
What are some of the biggest questions you still have for Mr. Bankman-Fried and his associates, now that you've been through this for some period?
I think the questions we have are not necessarily the question for Mr. Fried. The questions we have are, where are the assets? How we locate those assets? It's a mining exercise at this point. Look, at the end of the day, we're not going to be able to recover all the losses here. Right? Money was spent that we'll never get back. There will be losses on the international side. We're hopeful on the U.S. side. He'll answer to others related to what happened here. Our job is just to, find the assets and try to get customers their money back as quickly as possible.
Yeah, so those are some of the highlights from yesterday's hearing. There's a couple other ones. One of them saying that Sam Bankman-Fried, this wasn't, and I actually thought it was interesting because John Ray III, obviously older guy, right? Typically, you would think that he would just do nothing but shit on cryptocurrency. In the entire hearing, he did not talk about it, did not say one ill word towards crypto or Bitcoin, which I thought was very telling.
It was financial fraud, and he sees it for what it is.
That's exactly what he had said. He said this was old-fashioned embezzlement. Those are his exact words when he was describing what took place at FTX. So in no form or fashion did he talk about how this was crypto's fault or Bitcoin's fault. This was Sam Bankman-Fried taking people's money and saying he was going to do one thing with it and did the exact opposite, or did whatever he wanted to with it. 3 key points that I took from this. Speculation around hidden wallets. $7 billion went missing, and they have no idea where most of that is. And so I'm curious as to where it all is. Obviously, he's still trying to figure that out. But $7 billion doesn't just go missing. I think that is certainly interesting to think about. Like, if you have cold storage, you can hide that virtually anywhere. Yeah. And if you've been taking money from people and putting it on a cold storage wallet, how does that get recovered? Who actually has that? Who has access to it? Who knows where it is? That's going to be a big.
Can I touch on that, or do you want to give all 3 of your points first?
Well, those are 2. I'll just give the last one. Actually, no. Go ahead.
But don't forget the third one.
Yeah, don't forget. But you brought up exactly what I've been talking about the whole time when it comes to SBF. There is no cowboy with thick saddlebags riding off into the sunset. Right. That is a problem. If this was a murder investigation, we don't have the body. We don't have it. And that makes proving certain things that are obvious very difficult to do by letter of the law, right? And not just what we can put together objectively. We can't rely on that. It's going to be very hard. That's the part that jumped out to me as well, because I guarantee you, he said he's going to list the list of assets that are on some of these, I'm assuming, ledgers or cold wallets. Watch, it's going to all be FTT token. That's what it's going to be. FTT tokens and absolute shit tokens that aren't worth a thing. Yeah. That's what's going to be on all the known, has FTX's name on it ledgers. All the good stuff that's still worth something and will be worth something in the future, those are all going to be hidden. I guarantee you. Or if you do have, say, some legit stuff, some Bitcoin, some whatever on some of these ledgers, it's going to be minimal, just believable enough. Okay, there's, 30 Bitcoin on this one. That's a pretty good amount. I mean, it doesn't compare to the 100,000 that we had before the collapse, right? Like, so, this is all hypothetical, but that, that's good. Just believable enough. Mostly shit coins, mostly FTT token, and the real stuff's gone. Gone.
The question is, how sophisticated are they, right? And I have a lot of questions about that, because they could be either deceptively way more.
That's just because John Ray III actually mentioned when he was talking about this was straight up embezzlement, that there was nothing sophisticated about this at all.
Right. Just outright lied with the assets.
That's where I would lean towards, but just on like a technically level, you could create a script that had variance in it, and you could have like thousands of wallets, hundreds of thousands of wallets created that are in a script that do have a variable amount of different assets sent to them. I don't think that they're probably that sophisticated to do so, but it is possible they really could move that much money, make it look like the average end user's wallet, and then just have another script that can pull them all together later on. So it just depends how sophisticated they are, like I said.
So the question is now, okay, they can see the outflows, but like Mr. Ray said, you really don't know which wallets whose or where it came from. They can see an outflow, but when they were running the scam, how do you know they weren't creating separate wallets during that time and stashing it away over there? So it's the traceability. And now let's say they identify a nice juicy one. How do they get the key phrase? If SBF actually, let's say, had someone else write it, or if he wrote it but never memorized it and has it stashed somewhere, or it has it in his head, how do you get those assets back is the other question.
You attach a bot to it that watches for any movement whatsoever and then alerts you, and you follow it. I mean, that's the best you can do. That's the best thing you can do. That's how we get all these Bitcoin whale alerts. This wallet with 3,000 Bitcoin that hasn't moved since 2018 just sold. It's like, how are you watching that? Well, there's a bot attached to it that alerts people for that.
Yeah.
And that's what it's going to be.
Does that tie into the question here from Bergtown?
Yeah. So Bergtown, you bringing up a good point. So imagine you're in a full exchange, both nationally and international. So you have people from all over the world. So what you'll see as part of the exchange is a shit ton of transactions, incoming, outgoing. There's just so much input and output. So now, how do you distinguish between the legitimate ones? Let's say they sent this to a specific wallet. Of course, you can trace everything going out. But how do you know that that specific wallet was not an actual client sending it to
artificial intelligence? That's the answer.
Yeah.
You have to train an AI to know what legitimate transactions look like, which also means you have to have a data set showing that these were wallets attached to customer.
Right. But Ray says all that wasn't there. There's a lot of documentation. It's all lost in the fog.
Well, there's a SQL database somewhere that's holding it, or a Mongo database that's holding it somewhere, because they were a centralized exchange. So they basically have a really, really, really big Excel sheet that just has lists of like, here's Cyberbrad, and Cyberbrad's, Dogecoin wallet is this. And
correct. So now imagine SBF knowing he was doing this, intentionally. You would think that he knows the rule number one is don't have a centralized database.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember, I mean, he had CZ as a mentor. So I'm sure he knew a lot of how to hide shit.
Yeah. And he did.
He's stupid, but he ain't that stupid.
Yeah, no, he's not stupid, actually. He is quite shrewd, because even how Alameda raised its capital, they did some very shrewd moves back in the day. So how can you tell you're speaking to Anakin, of Star Wars to turn into Darth Vader?
Darth Vader,
right. You just don't know until they show their hand. And now this is the time where he started showing his hand way early. So if he already had this plan, that there's a lot of transactions, outflows that are veiled under legitimacy. So that way I can corrupt that centralized database of where even AI, like you said, Brandon, we have to train the AI to identify it.
Yeah.
That means that we have to figure it out also to be able to teach the AI what to find.
You have to
So-
give them the think of it like a hound dog. You kind of got to give a hound dog like, hey, this is what the kid smells like. Go in the woods and find him, right? Like,
Right.
They have to be trained on what they're looking for.
Absolutely.
Which brings me to my third point. John Ray III confirmed, and he has been, as he's been uncovering all this stuff, also told Congress that he's been sharing all of this information with the SEC and with the SDNY, which is why they ended up indicting Sam Bankman-Fried. But he also confirmed that a lot of these funds were illegally sent to Alameda as well. Why the fuck isn't Caroline Ellison also been indicted and arrested?
She probably arrested. Good question, but she's cooperating through her
Yes.
lawyers with police right now. So that's probably part of. And this is guesswork, but that's probably what the lawyer has negotiated. Listen, SBF is out here incriminating himself right and left all over the internet and news. He's going nuts. My client, Caroline, is going to shut it all down. But as part of that, let's talk plea. Let's talk, I don't want her arrested right now until it's time for that to come out. Like, let's talk about how we're going to do this to where we can really shut the main culprits up, whether that's SBF or anybody else. I guarantee you that's part of her
This is
lawyers
proof,
negotiating.
actually.
Yeah.
What's happening is proof of what you're saying, Tam.
Yeah. She's playing along through her lawyer, which again is a Manhattan boutique, big time lawyer. It's a whole firm that is not new to this sort of thing. And I guarantee you, Brad, that's part of it. Like, leave her name out of it, leave jail, arrest, all that stuff out of it right now, and we will give you everything you want. That's part of the negotiation.
You got to wonder if Gary was like talking to old Glenn Ellison, Caroline's father, was like, hey, so Sam Bankman is fucking this up for himself. Here's how Caroline doesn't fuck it up for herself. Yep. You gotta wonder if there was any kind of, there has to be, right? There has to be communication between
I'm
those.
confident.
Yeah.
There has to be.
Yeah.
There is. There is.
You just don't drop out like that.
Yeah.
No.
And there's probably backdoor deals as well where, hey, the real puppeteers are, Mr. and Mrs. XYZ. If we want to leave their names out of it, then again, my client gets almost nothing. You can do what you need to do politically to shut up the real puppeteers, and we'll have SBF or whoever take the fall for everything.
Yeah.
It
And
just
to
depends on what she knows, man.
Yeah. To give context to that, guys, the SEC chair, Gary Gensler, was MIT colleague over with Glenn Ellison, who is Caroline Ellison's father. That's why I continually bring that up, which is just mind blowing.
You have to.
Yeah. And I'm going to continue bringing that up. And until she gets arrested or until we find out what's going on with that, I'm going to continue to really just hammer that home. Also, Sam Bankman-Fried, part of the charges was campaign fraud. We still haven't heard one damn thing about returning any of those funds.
They won't be returned.
And until somebody tells me to shut the fuck up, I'm just going to keep bringing it up because
you're right.
It's fucking ridiculous. If you're going to charge this guy now, so Maxine Waters also has gone on record saying that if they found out that those funds were to be fraudulent, that she would return those funds and that she would encourage her constituents to do the same. So that needs to happen. And I'm going to continue to bring that up.
Because Ray just said, listen, at the end of the day, we're not going to recover all these funds.
Correct.
We're not going to do it. We'll do what we can to make users get something back. But then if it is shown that $70+ million was donated to a political party, and returning that money can at least make people hurt by this a little bit more whole, you want to talk about political suicide if you don't give it back.
Right.
And I mean, elections are right around the corner too. Like, I mean, relatively, they're what, less than 2 years away?
Yes.
Like, if you want, you're going to cancel student debt, but you're going to keep my fraudulent funds that were stolen when you could make me a little bit more whole. Come on, man.
Well, and we'll save this for Friday, but you look at the pittance that is compared to what the Pentagon lost recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll bring that up on Friday.
What worries me, guys, really is a repeat of the whole Kennedy thing, where, look, they arrest the guy, Oswald, and he dies in custody while being transferred. I mean,
Your
if
age
I'm
is
in-
showing. Can we just talk about Epstein?
Yes. Okay. Well,
Nobody knows about that shit. Just talk about
yes.
Epstein.
and he was in custody also. But guys,
yeah, no, I'm just fucking with you.
no. But I'm glad you brought up Epstein because death was involved in both scenarios.
Yes.
Yeah.
The silencing of the person who knew everything.
That's the thing, though. If you kill SBF, how do you not also kill Caroline?
Because
He's not the whole story. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
if you have both birds that are chirping, SBF's doing it in public view, Caroline's doing it through her lawyer privately, but both birds are going to chirp. So how do you, what does offing only one really do for you?
well, clearly, so Caroline shut the fuck up. The moment this blew up, she shut the fuck up.
Yeah, but she's still got the voice. She just is
Yes.
not making it public. That's what I'm saying. So even if SBF gets Epsteined in the Bahamas or anywhere else, Caroline's still there. She just hasn't gone public yet. So how do you kill him without also taking care of her? That's my point. You know what I mean?
So we're there are other Epstein.
What's her name?
Like she's
Ghislaine.
not gone.
Maxwell Ghislaine. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And so
We're
she had the
demonetized
books.
for the stream, by the way.
That's fine.
I'm just
Oh
saying,
yeah, I'm sure.
for sure.
Guys, screw it. We do it for you guys.
Yeah.
we try to discover what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
But the guy who was willing to go out in public and speak, and even though he looked like a buffoon, because he's not dumb, guys. He is not stupid. No matter whatever you see him doing, he's not stupid.
No.
Elmer Fudd.
So the fact that he can actually have the balls to get out there and make himself look like a buffoon, make himself look like I didn't know what I'm doing, is a very dangerous situation from me if I were the corrupt person in the government that could be called out to the floor. It's like, no, if someone's got to shut up, you got to shut up the ones willing to speak.
Right.
And then make the others like that Ghislaine, Caroline and Ghislaine, it's like, bro, you open up, this is happening to you too. Who knows?
Yeah.
Right.
That's a good point. I mean, it's a very good point. We might not ever really hear her speak, or just the tippy tip of the iceberg. She admits just enough, maybe gets some probation, minimal jail time.
Yeah.
And then the rest is basically a giant NDA that we will never know of.
She'll get jail time. I would be shocked if she did not get jail time. I mean,
It'll just be barely any though.
Yeah, Sam Bankman-Fried's facing 165 years. I would imagine that she at least gets 10 to 20.
You
At
think?
least.
With a pardon.
Yeah,
to shorten
so
that afterwards.
correct.
Sure.
So I think that she gets a ton of years and then has the ability to get out early.
Yeah, I mean,
Because white collar crimes, to your point, Tamp, that you've brought this up before, white collar crimes aren't necessarily as punishable as like murdering somebody or something.
They're
like
right. Yeah, I'm telling you, you're
Sadly.
more likely to go to jail for punching your boss in the face for fraud than you are proving your boss actually conspiracied or actually committed fraud itself.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you're much more likely to go to jail for the punch in the nose.
Despite the fact that this white collar job wiped out entire families.
Oh,
all over.
yeah.
It's like literally killed their revenue,
listen,
killed the future. You know?
Jordan Belfort's a celebrity. You know? He's out and about and he's a celebrity making a shit ton of money again. So it's just
damn.
You know, when you think about it.
Yeah. And they extended Tom Brady's career now, this whole situation.
Yeah,
Poor
right.
guy.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, he can't retire. He can't retire now.
No.
And he can throw footballs at people's buttholes, you know? Yeah. No, but like, I was going to say there's, you know how like Kingpin, like William Fisk went to jail in Daredevil, but he had like really, really nice digs inside of jail. He had like, you know, his whole piano and everything like that shit's real.
Yeah.
It legitimately is like Like,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
Wolf
in
of Wall
prison,
Street
but it's
saying-
Al
actually
Capone.
Yeah, Wolf of Wall Street
Jordan Belfort.
did an interview saying, "Hey,
Mhm.
it was
Jordan,
great."
yeah,
It's
Jordan.
basically a condo where you're not allowed to be out in general, public, but you're not afforded the same situation that
Oh, yeah.
someone
I
getting
just-
caught in a drug
Look,
charge. right?
Martin Shkreli actually went on Twitter Spaces and told Sam Bankman-Fried himself that jail wasn't all that bad.
No,
Yeah.
no, not. Was it Sam? No, no, no.
No, it was
Kwon.
Do
He
Kwon.
told Do Kwon.
Do
It was
Kwon,
Do
Do
Kwon
Kwon. You're right.
making
You're
it.
right.
It's
You're
not
right.
that
Do
bad,
Kwon. Oh yeah,
But-
yeah, yeah.
I just went on a tour of a penitentiary. I forget the name of it. The one in Philadelphia, in downtown Philadelphia, is like at one point the biggest prison in all of U.S. And they had Al Capone's, like an exact replica of Al Capone's cell in there. This thing had rugs in it, a writing desk, a box of cigars, like it like liquor in there. Like it was, for the time, that was a king's cell.
Yeah.
Especially compared to everybody else, had dirt floors and like, cause it's old, right? Like
Right.
dirt floors, nothing in there. And Capone's cell is like nicer than people's houses. I'm like, come on.
It's who you know. It's who you know.
Absolutely. That's
Oh,
very
100%.
real. Yeah. Eastern State Penitentiary. Thank you, Boston. That's exactly where we toured
Yeah.
the other day.
We're going to
Yep.
continue this conversation, guys, on Friday. And if you want to continue this conversation now, make sure you go check us out over on Discord. The link is in the description. We'd love to have you guys there. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you're subscribing and hitting that like button if you like the stream, to show us further support. If you guys haven't been following us for a very long time, we just actually revamped DCTV, and we have really started to build this community, and we're going to continue to do that. So if you guys want to continue to show us support and continue on these conversations, we'd love to have you guys along for the ride with us. And to wrap it all up, we of course have birthdays. Andrew Tate is 35 years old. I thought he was older than that, but Andrew Tate's 35 years old. Offset is 30.
Oof. Oof. He's not doing too hot right now. He's
Oh,
still
really?
hurt. Yeah. Well, no, he's fine. He's still just, he's hurting from Takeoff getting shot.
Oh,
He's hurting. Yeah.
DK Metcalf is 24.
Swole.
Yeah, that guy's
He's
such
so
a-
swole.
He's such a beast. Such a beast. Cliff Williams is 72. And then we finally have Ginger Lynn, who's the big 6-0. She's best known for Backdoor Bonanza 11, Sperm Busters, On Golden Blonde, Poonies, and How I Fucked Your Mother. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll be back on Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern time to talk about all the new and upcoming events as far as the SBF saga continues. And until then, keep calm and huddle on. Thanks, guys.
Have a
Didn't
good
she
one.
also star in Blown